Tasha Kikna, and life begins again. Tasha Ektosu, as it must, sine qua est. And with the grain not yet fallen on fatal cobbles, not since another glebe of poverty, split with gall the atomic movements of a clock, as 2 sacks fell to a pair of pigeons crush close to the cooper's stall, their torpor turn a signal to kin to feast in ragged pairs on 2 fast split bags of meal. The rat man, and far Francock Bjorg is Ireland, his necktie loose beneath blind eyes, he became the birds himself. Blind and back, and knowing right and true the way of things, he became O'Higgin Grand, and his descendant, the late come follower of mighty Neil, the Ruchnach O'Higgin Navili, who cock an eye and roll his tongue to see it done. Even the swift death of Stanley John, the master gaoler of the hallowed order of the swamp, we who ken the Higgins dropped down dead. His lack of mercy turned to poison in an air, so that in 5 weeks following, as the master speaketh, the king's deputy was done in by the red lips of a gale, for plunder and stomach split with want. And he knew it well on Farragh Gwyn, the way of things right and true. He knew it well, the Black Pit's wanderer, how peace is the gentle tyranny of birds, if they just break the taboo and stand, black ink shaping the contours of their bones to face down the harsh predation of the gull. Its minatory is a chroma. It's a confession box of tears. And so it is he spoke in verse of the ontogeny of the gales, of miracles and sounds, ex tu, when the sea hauls pebbles over the stucken stones we pick, those we drop, those we kneel by, singing deeply laid up in a cool languishing. There upon the shore near the meeting cliffs, Versalka haunted once known her gifted kiss. Was wine and water both, for it all carried hunger, long enough to turn it to a thirst. And yet it spoke most of all the keening call of the bird-like gale, and our crisp sorrow for the crippling cock, festering between the joints. True gravity of bog pulse swelling spurred, and non want for water, green and heat, crushed pigeons all. Each of us, every single one, each of us is the other's meal, spurring a hunger that forces fingers searching as we delicately lament their handiwork, a convocation of great black-backed gulls, great skuas, the giant trevally, its O-shaped harvest mouth dripping water, stained, puffing red, those satiated barks galvanized and wrapped in human skin, slamming toothy grinning on the hard water waves, a hunger that forces split keratin to need. Dark brown digits skimming through the topsoil, and the mind behind them to contemplate. 100 heavy attempts and 100 graves, weighed down by a dreamy graw, lips puckered, eager for a swilling draw, a long yearning to suck dry a pigeon's bones for nourishment, when only graves can synthesize this halting peace. Where need unsatisfied, it is unsatisfied by grass, however green. Tall blades, skin nourished, but bone bleached. It carries a captive haunting song. And yet the Black Pit's man I take to you of, he never lived to see the moment when short necks and long tails listed, and Dublin lads jeered, calling them the classe. Even though he early knew what Tim Bergen found in his origins, that the Gael finds most in his verse. And of his granite singing, it began with him, a Black Pit's babe, Saint and Fwillinach Alcove, on the thinking streets of River Row, of Battle Alley down by Dowker's Lane, where Newbelt now stands in steel, its magazine, the magazine they call it, its blunt teeth held in cement gums, hard clasped by a tarmac jaw. And he often walked along the river lane and gave his city home its name, its culvert carrying the tempter's water, feeding the work of the tanner man. And the fierce paddle gave him life. It felled even an empire's tower, toppling the southwestern height of Birmingham, Stones sloughed centuries before a bullet and a pen. And it gave the liffey singing beaks a means to build a home. Years before even this gleeful Dublin bard could turn his tricks, transforming a story onto a crutch or a summons onto a feast. Na feast an ein flahool, a janga derga a silly fuckle. The feast of spendthrift birds, their red tongues flowing with words. The Black Pit's man was minnow bread, and 3 spines strong. A scaled child of the river, and its mouthy cargo was the pinking schools. My mother, she often laughing along remembers, as she and Eamon gently waded 2 babes a play. A pair of cormorants eager to turn their nets to race.